Hello everyone, hope you guys are doing well. So in my today's video, I'm going to talk to you about a company called Jeena Sikho Lifecare Ltd, right? So let's look into their business model. So their business model is divided into two parts. One is called Ayurveda Healthcare Services and the other one is Ayurveda Healthcare Products. So in the healthcare services, they operate out of hospitals and clinics, like, and they operate through, how do you call, hub and spoke model, where hospital is the hub and the spoke are their clinics through which if anything is required, they get sent to the hospital. And this model is, in terms of capex and opex, very light operational structure. The reason is why is because the company doesn't construct these hospitals on their own, right? So they lease it from the current hospital or from Ayurveda colleges, and they, because of that, they get significant operating leverage. And the other, as I said, about the other part of the business model is Ayurveda healthcare products, where they sell medicines through which make money. And if we take the current 9 months FY26 numbers, the revenue is evenly divided. So from the healthcare services, the contribution is around 49%, which is around 288 crores. And from the healthcare products, the contribution is around 51%, which is around 298 crores. So they both combine together. That's how the business makes money. Okay, so let's look into their recent results. So they are in the Q3 FY26, their revenue was up by around 92% to 222 crores from 116 crores last year. PAT was up by massively 405% to 66.6 crores from 13.2 crores, and earning per shares went up by around 406% to 5.36 rupees from 1.06 rupees, right? And one of the most important reasons why they got the operating leverage is because their EBITDA margin improved from 26% to 45%, and PAT margin almost tripled to 30% from 11% last year. And one of the other important thing we need to understand that generally for healthcare services, Q3 is the weak quarters, right? Because of Diwali, wedding seasons, and winter holidays, people generally avoid going to the hospitals, or they don't go, and they do it only at the latter time. But even though this was the leanest quarter, they did quite well, right? Because they were able to improve their product mix, at the back of which how do you say, their healthcare products provided or contributed more to the overall revenue. So let's look at the patient volume, which is quite an important numbers, right? Because that's where the main revenue comes from. So if you look at their IPD patient volumes, uh, if we compare to the last year, it increased by almost 84%. And this is very important, okay? The reason is why, even though the overall number of IPD patient might be less for the hospital, but the revenue that they generate from is quite high. It's like a 80-20 Pareto model, right? Even though the overall patient that are coming through the IPD, which is inpatient numbers, even though they're 20%, they almost contribute more than 70 to 75% of the revenue. And if we look at their outpatient volumes, it increased by almost 89%. And their daycare volume was up by 139%. And their on video consultations increased by almost 214%. So if you look at the overall operating metrics, they did quite well, and which definitely contributed to the overall growth. So let's look at what the management is trying to do to grow their business model, right? So currently they have around 2000 to around 2500 beds, and they're developing another 2007 to 200 2800 additional beds, and their long term goal is to reach around 7000 to 10000 beds by, by leasing hospital wings, and obviously leasing out places in Ayurvedic colleges, because that is the best place to look for patients who are looking for Ayurvedic treatments. And they recently announced a new 150-bed hospital in Ahmedabad, which is Gujarat, which is going to go live in, has already gone live in Feb 2026. And for their OTC distribution for their medicines, they have partnered with a company called Entero. It's a major B2B distributor. So the agreement says that they're going to place the product in 10% of all medical stores. And the great thing about is the management currently right now is targeting that within the next 2 years, they want to generate a revenue of 500 crores only from the healthcare products. And if they are expanding internationally also, they recently acquired a 51% stake in a company called Back to Roots Ayurveda in UAE. So in order to expand their Middle East, because Ayurveda's presence, or how to say, popularity is growing in the Middle East also. And the other thing that the management is trying to do, or to improve the number of patients coming back to them again and again, is to launch something called Jeena Sikho Health Card, which help them to have a loyal base of patients and drive recurring revenues. So if we look at the overall numbers and the way business is doing, it's quite great. And if you look at their growth plan, they're quite aggressive. And be very honest with you, this company has delivered on every guidance and the numbers that they have given. I would say they have overachieved it. So as of now, if you look at the history and what they have done, it doesn't look like it would be impossible for them to achieve what they are going to what they are promising for the coming quarters. But obviously we have to keep an eye. We just can't close our eyes and sleep off and say okay, they will do it. We have to monitor, we have to see the quarterly results and see how well they are doing. Are there any new challenges which they might face, or things are just getting better and better? I hope you like this video. Please do subscribe to my channel. Thank you and God bless you.